Hello and welcome. I am Scarberlock, and this is City of Heroes on the Rebirth server. We are with our level 31 Stalker, Tiger Shrike, who has 1.39 million XP now, 236,000 to go, almost a quarter of a million to go to get to level 32. And our next set of enhancements for single origin, we have 15.5 million influence, and we are on a story arc for Philippa Moreau about the Cray, right? Corporate culture. Last episode, we captured a freak show tank named Saiba the Damager, and according to him, the freaks are supposed to be paid today by the person who hired him to kill Mrs. Kellerman. I don't know if that person will show. After all, you saved Mrs. Kellerman, so the freaks didn't exactly do their job, but you should probably show up to the meeting anyway and see if you can find out why the freaks were set to hired to kill her. So we're going to go to Independence Port and find the freak show and see if we can figure out who was going to pay them. And my guess is, it's been a while since I played this story arc, probably 7 months or something, but my guess is that it will almost certainly be Cray. Now, in the meantime, I think we had something up at the auction house, so let's give it a check and see. We put it up for a couple hundred thou, and we sold it for 1.222 million influence. So we now have 16.7 million influence. And I don't think we have anything right now yet. We don't have anything to sell. So let's just go ahead and wander over to Independence Port. And if it's very far away, I will pause it so you guys don't have to watch me running through that very long zone. And then we'll bring you back at the mission door. But let's just see where the mission is. And it is pretty close, so I won't bother to pause it. It's right there. So, it's very interesting. I was thinking today that every cloud has a silver lining, and obviously this isn't something all that important that I'm about to talk about in terms of the silver lining, but as I've mentioned in other videos, I am stuck at home, working from home because of the coronavirus 2020, and so I've been in my house pretty much all day every day instead of going to work. And that's happening for a lot of people. Let's just pick the task. Here we go. It's happening for a lot of people. But one of the things, sort of as a preface to that, I'll come back to this thing that I was going to talk about, but let's go over here because there is a giant monster in this zone. Luca, or Luca, I don't know how you say it. There are tentacles, and then the creature itself. Can I select the creature itself? Doesn't look like it. So the idea is you need a whole group of people. These are giant monsters, so it actually doesn't matter what level you are. Everything is scaled to the monster. So basically your attacks do a percentage of damage to it rather than a total number, and its attacks do a percentage of damage to you. That's the way giant monsters work. And so level 1s and level 50s can all work together against a giant monster. You get a big group of like 8 people. You probably need a couple of groups of 8 people, and you each attack the tentacles, and you have to take out like basically one tentacle at a time while it's doing massive damage, and you've got healers healing you, and then after you've got all the tentacles, you take out the middle guy and defeat him, and you can get a badge for that, I think. So there are giant monsters in some of the zones, and Lucca is one of them. It's pretty cool. That was certainly not in live. It was added, several issues into the game. So now what I was talking about in terms of the silver lining is some years ago, I got permission from my homeowners association to put a glass storm door on my front door. And yes, this is the Cray that we're going to be fighting. And I did that for a couple reasons. I think it looks nicer from the outside, but also because then I can open the inside door, right, and let lots of light into the house and, get to see the outside and things like that. So it's quite nice. But unfortunately, I forgot these guys' res. A little rusty at these guys. Um, the one of the problems is that this door faces um, the east, and so in the morning the sun comes through, and in my front door, the actual inside door is black, and then you have this glass door, and there, unfortunately, even though there's a little bit of a vent on it, the vent doesn't do any good, and so it gets really hot when you leave the glass door, the inside door closed and the glass door closed, and there's just a little like 2 inches of gap between them. It acts like a greenhouse, and it just bakes, and it gets really hot to the point where if you open the door and you touch the black surface of the front door, you can almost burn your hand. And my sister has a red door. She said it does the same thing to her. Um, but one of the things that you can do, of course, is just open the door, and you just even open the door a crack, and it'll vent everything, right? But when I'm at work, obviously, in the morning, I can't do that, and by the afternoon, the sun is gone when I come home. So it doesn't matter too much, say, in the height of summer, believe it or not, because I have a maple tree out front, and that shades the door a little bit. But at this time of year, in April, when the sun is starting to get hot, there's no shade because the tree hasn't leafed out yet. It's still just got buds on it. So, and I used to have to go to work, and I would leave at like 7:30, just as the sun is really starting to get strong, and I would be at work from, that time until 11 o'clock in the morning or so, when the sun finally moves and we've got some shade over the door, right? And so, I have not, other than on weekends, I'm not able to open the door and vent it. But now that I'm home every day, I can just go downstairs at 8 in the morning and just crack the door open and vent it, which is kind of nice. So that helps me a little bit, and we're being debuffed. Yeah, these guys shouldn't be a huge problem as long as I'm smart enough to take out the geneticists first so that they don't resurrect each other. The last priority should be the things like the mob specialists and the patrol guards, because all they do is shoot at you. They don't have any ability to buff, debuff, or res. So yeah, at least I don't have to worry about my my front door overheating and getting really hot and potentially even causing some issues. Like the door getting warped and that kind of stuff. So there's an infiltrator there, and then we have an operative there. Both are lieutenants. The question is the operative going to see me do this? And he might. Let's see. Did they see me? No. So this is all Cray, and now we know the Cray, we're going to pay the freak show. Now the Cray will deny this because they are Cray. But I'm sure that this guy was going to pay the freak show for killing Mrs. Kellerman. And there is a glowy up here, and I know the boss is downstairs. I'm just going to take him out last. He's not a boss, so it really doesn't matter. But I want to get the glowy first. She's done. As I mentioned in the Scrapper videos, the Cray are one of the few factions when the game launched that actually had female enemies, right? Like these secretaries that actually have guns and stuff, that are like souped up administrative assistants or whatever you want to call them. Mission complete. So we don't have to fight this guy, but we're going to. We've got our clue. And the clue says that there's a crumpled note. Remember Winslow. I don't want any of those freaks to survive. We cannot trust them for long. Once this messy business is over and Kellerman's wife is no longer subverting his indoctrination, I think I can guarantee that your handling of the incident will be well reviewed, Dr. Giacomo. So somebody is trying to use Kellerman's wife against him. So now that we know that, we can bring that information back to Philippa and help her see that the Cray are bad people. Look at that, 3 misses in a row. Or 4 deflections. What is my chance to hit this guy? 33%? Come on. I still should hit him 1 of 3 or 4. 72%. Still missed twice in a row. It definitely likes to do 3 in a row. It definitely likes to be contagious. There's no question about it. It definitely likes to do the same result repeatedly. Okay. So we're done with this mission, and we have investigated the freak show payment. Now we can contact Philippa. According to Cray, they were investigating the freak show attack and mistook you for a villain. Yeah, right. They issued a public apology, and they're saying they won't press any assault charges against you for the battle. I know that you weren't the one looking for a fight, but Cray has an army of lawyers ready to swoop down. Trust me, Tiger Shrike, that's one fight you can't win. But maybe there's another way to strike at Cray. This note you found makes it look like someone at Cray hired the freak show to kill Mrs. Kellerman. They mentioned something about disrupting Mr. Kellerman's indoctrination. Not sure what that means, but I'll look into it. And then she says, I just spoke to Kimberly Kellerman's sister, Tracy Templeton. She says that Kimberly went to see her husband Ken at work, and now she's disappeared. Considering the freak's recent attempt on her life, the Cray is probably involved. Will you go and find Mrs. Kellerman? We certainly will. We want to help her. I'm going to take a shortcut this time and head through Ouroboros. No enhancements to sell. And we'll go to Talos. I guess it's the easiest way to just get straight onto the train and then go to Steel Canyon, because we're right on the hill when we spawn in. Right there. And guys, we're 3 bulbs into 31, so we got a long way to go to get to 32, and we'll be suffering a little bit because our enhancements are turning yellow, and because we don't have enhancements on some of our newer slots, and that's just going to be the way it is. I'm not buying enhancements that I'm going to then throw away next level, even though we have plenty of money to do it if we want. It's just silly. Alright, so this mission is where? Right in front of us? And in we go. I like this music too. There's a lot of really good music in City of Heroes. And I think they just got royalty-free music from somewhere. That I could swear I remember that there's some like music that you can pay a flat rate to somebody like Sony for, and then use it however you want, and that's what they use for City of Heroes. So you got to watch here. There are guys on the edges and guys in the middle with a with the mission set on +2 but ×1 hero. It shouldn't be a problem. But if you're playing, say, +3 or 4 heroes, so that you're playing like for a group with so many guys spread out in this section and in each of the wings, you can easily aggro multiple spawns. So if you're going to be doing that, just be careful for just fighting one person's worth of spawns. It's not a problem. 3 in a row. It definitely likes to do streaks. Right, you see one miss, you know there's going to be another one almost every time. And I am trying to be a little slower with the clicking, just to give myself the opportunity to hit the heals when I need to. Medic, we definitely want to get him first because he'll heal up the other guys. So these guys are +3s, so it won't be super easy. But the Cray, they're not really too bad. They don't really do much. They're mostly just doing regular attacks to you. The geneticists are a pain because they res their partners, but if you know that, which I forgot about, you just attack them first and hit them really hard and fast, and it's not a problem. Love that crit. And another crit. And done. Okay, so we need to talk to Ken Kellerman, but I don't know where he is. So there's a geneticist. Where's his buddy? There's another geneticist downstairs. So we're going to have to watch. He's going to run upstairs and try to res this guy. I think, yep, see. So we got to make sure we keep him off guard so that he doesn't res him. Not that it matters that much, it's just a red con minion. But, yeah, I don't want to have to fight more guys than I need to. I guess I can start using these yellow inspirations. I had originally gotten them. I gotta remember to turn off super speed. I had originally gotten the yellows to fight Rikti drones, but we're not fighting Rikti. I forgot that Philippa sent us against the Cray and not the Rikti, because that first mission or two she gave us was Rikti. I know there's a Rikti story arc in this level range. I just don't remember. Who gives it to you. Alright, so we're going to speed up a little bit here so we can get build up to go. And then assassinate this guy. And it's also good that we did hasten, because he's going to try to slow us with his ice attack. And that's it for him. So what you really don't want is the geneticist. What you really don't want is the geneticist rezzing the tank. And I left super speed on again. I gotta turn that off. Radiologist, Special Agent Infiltrator. Gotta tell you, with haste and running, I can see the appeal of perma haste. Right? Because it speeds everything up. I never did it during live when it was possible to do. And now, of course, it's not possible, so we can't do it. Patrol Guard Mob Specialist. Is there a geneticist or somebody around here? No. Okay, so we'll assassinate the guy that's not moving. Yeah, there was certainly a while there during live when almost everyone had perma-haste. Even my supergroup, which wasn't full of like uber min-maxers and stuff, but 3 or 4 people I remember had perma-haste going. But one of my really good friends, I remember his character always doing the haste animation, you know, just sort of automatically the way mine automatically did. Practice Brawler. And there, people couldn't understand why I refused to do it, but I was like, what do I need it for? My character's fine. She recharges things really fast, and one of the things that a lot of people didn't understand with super reflexes, which is very different from this, right? This thing, these are all click powers, and the recharge rate matters. But super reflexes is all toggles and passives, right? There are only 2 click powers, and one of them can be permed without haste, easily, just with a couple of recharge enhancers. And so really the only thing you needed perma-haste for was elude. And I didn't feel that I needed that. And I didn't use elude all the time, right? People would do perma-haste, perma-elude. I've talked about that. I wasn't doing it that way. I was instead using elude as a panic power and using my toggles as my main defense. And I like that because toggles are set it and forget it, right? You don't have to click on them. You don't have to think about it. One of the real negatives of using perma-haste with click powers, like suppose you want to do perma-haste, perma-dull pain, perma-instant healing, right? These are all click powers. But you can only control click one power. If you control click another one, right? Let's do this one. You can't even control click another one until you, yeah, see, if you control click one, it declicks the other one, right? And so you can only have one. So if you wanted to do perma dull pain, perma instant healing, perma haste, you had to control click hasten, and you had to constantly watch these things, and every time they recharge you had to hit them again. because they only had like a 5 or 10 second overlap in the middle of battle, and even when you weren't in battle, you had to keep clicking them. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to keep watching a loot and clicking it every time it lights back up. That's just a pain. So instead, I just was like, no, I'll just use toggles. Now that doesn't make it better. That was just my preference. A lot of people loved perma haste, perma elude, or perma haste, perma dull pain, perma instant healing, right? But the more click powers you have, the more of a pain in the neck trying to do perma haste and perma the click powers would be. So I'm gonna pacify her and take this guy out. And then let's see if I can actually hide again. Nope. But that's alright. Yeah, these guys do martial arts. It's quite effective. And they do a lot of damage. And they hit a lot. Because martial arts is really accurate. Alright. Ah, I aggroed somebody else. He must have come from upstairs. Oh, and I aggroed that guy too. Come find me. Come on. Shouldn't be able to see me from there. There you go. Pacify. I like how she brings the claws out even for pacifying. It's like, you think that I'm not going to hurt you, but I will. And extra misses. 3 in a row. Those are actually deflections, so that means he's got toggle on. Some kind of super reflex toggle. Probably something like focus fighting. Which way am I going here? This way. Nope, we've been there. We gotta go that way, so I need to get upstairs. Where are the stairs in here? I always forget. Okay, well, I'll just hover up. And we'll find them upstairs, and then I'll show you where they are. I can't remember. And it's morning, so it's really bright in my front room here. I thought there was a stairway to get up here. There should be. Yeah, right here. Okay. And so it's really hard to see things in the dark. And there are 2 geneticists. Kill one. Knock the other one down so that he cannot res the first guy. He tried to immediately do so. And there is Ken Kellerman. It's all very confusing. We got a clue. So Ken says, I'm not entirely sure what's going on. When you arrived, those guards grabbed me and told me to stay here or else. It was odd. But then, it's been odd all day. You say you're looking for someone named Kimberly? I met a Kimberly today. She said she knew me. And she seemed familiar, but I just couldn't place her. A shame because she sure was pretty. And sweet. A couple of security guards came and took her away. If I see her again, I'll try to contact you. Well, after I get her number myself. A woman like that you don't easily forget. So he has been brainwashed or something so that he doesn't know who his own wife is. To call Philippa. She says Ken Kellerman didn't even remember his wife. Either Kimberly Kellerman and her sister are completely bonkers. Or something happened to disrupt Ken's memory. Time for me to do some more digging. Cray sent you a public thank you, by the way. According to them, the Cray operatives you fought had gone rogue. I just love the Cray. It's like what Microsoft Corporation would be like if they had, like, energy weapons and radiologists and stuff working for them. It's more than a little suspicious, but there's not much anyone can do to disprove it for now. Alright, I think we have time to do one more mission. These haven't been real long. She says, I just got a call from Tracy Templeton, Kimberly's sister. She's scared, really scared, but before she could tell me why, she said she saw several white vans pull up outside her house. Then her phone went dead. Yeah, that's got to be the Cray coming after her. So now we're going to go after Tracy Templeton, who's right here in Steel Canyon, which is very lucky for us. And we'll just go get her. You know, I've never really thought about it in great detail, but I've often wondered, just vaguely, what the logic was that the developers used for selecting what zone a mission door was in. Right? Let's say they need a sewer. There are sewer entrances in every zone that you could go into to enter a sewer mission. And this particular mission, given by a contact from Founders Falls, is in Steel Canyon. Why? Right? Why wouldn't it be in Founders Falls? Why wouldn't it be in Skyway City? Why wouldn't it be in Atlas Park? So, I don't know whether it just randomly picks something, whether it's like keyed to this door, whether it's keyed to any cave in Steel Canyon, or whether it's keyed to any cave in a certain level range, which would include, say, Steel Canyon, Boomtown, and Skyway City, or whether it's keyed to anything in the city and it's just totally random, and I don't really know. I feel like it must be keyed to a door in a zone. It can't be completely random, because then you'd be getting people at level 5 getting missions in Brickstown or something, and they would die. Right? Because you can't... where are those guys? I saw some guys upstairs. So there's an investigator. So let's head up. Oh, wait, there's a guy right here. Let's take him out first. These guys do a lot of damage very quickly. Oh, and we're being double teamed, so that's not good. Let's put on some deflection. And increase our 2-hit and dull pain. Probably going to need instant healing here. These guys put out massive amounts of damage. If you've watched my Scrapper video, you know that I got double teamed by 2 of these guys. They weren't purple, I don't think, at the time. I think they were red. But I got double teamed by 2 of them, and they both hit Silver Phoenix at the same exact time. And I got killed, because it was like bang bang, and her health bar just went down to 0. Placate for the win. Alright, now what I was going to do was hover up here and see where those guys were that I saw. There they are. A medic and a geneticist. So we're going to take out the geneticist rather first. And then the medic. The medics don't res. I believe the medics heal and the geneticists res. I don't think the geneticists can heal, and I don't think the medics can res. But it's been a while since I fought these guys, so I could be wrong about that. There's another geneticist. I'm lucky he didn't come and heal up and res one of the lieutenants while I was fighting the other one. And there's another guy. I want to get the recharge on instant healing and dull pain going faster, so we'll go ahead and hasten up. Yeah, this is going to be hard to hit, because she just put on focus fighting. That ch sound. Now, I'm going to have no choice here but to put on the accuracy buff. Wow. This is the problem. It takes so long to beat her that she gets so many swings at me that she can almost kill you, not because her attacks are so accurate or powerful, but just because she stands in there so long because you can't hit her. And that's the level buff, right? That's because there's +3 to me. And I really shouldn't be fighting +3s at this level. Now, once we get our level 32 stuff in, maybe by 34, by 34, we won't have any problem with this, right? We'll have enough slots and enough powers that we'll be fine. But at 31, and with some of our slots not filled in and everything else starting to expire, it's pretty difficult to do +3s, but that's fine. We'll probably do, I don't know, by 35 or so, we're probably going to have to actually put it on +3s and go after +4s, I guess. Might be a little early to do that. I literally can't see anything in here because of the light in the room. Like, I can only see my character. Scientist, patrol guard, researcher. Okay, well these guys are nothing, so. Don't control click that. And now we got somebody slowing me. Yeah, so these guys aren't that powerful just in general, but if there's enough of them, they definitely add up. Especially if you can't hit them because they're +3. And really my observation of this, at least with this character, is the +3 is really only a problem because of the missing. It's not a problem for the damage they do to me or the damage I do to them so much, even without my powers mostly yet slotted for damage. The main problem is just missing them and how long I have to sit in here fighting them with all the misses. That's what really kills you, because it gives them so many more swings at you. Right, and even like with super reflexes, yeah, they get more swings at me, but they're going to miss. Right, although with super reflexes, the higher level they are, the more they hit, so I don't know. You have to pay a lot more attention, I think, with regen, just because everything depends on these click powers. I mean, with super reflexes, I had to pay attention. No, geneticist, no. Interrupt. Darn it. I didn't see him. Again, too dark, I can't see everything. Dull pain. I can't believe I need dull pain against minions. And that's just because there's extra guys swinging at me, because I didn't see the geneticist. Took so many blows to be defeated. Wow, this is a huge map. Is there any geneticist around here? No. Okay. I am glad they changed it. In the old days with Assassin's Strike, that guy kind of walked out of my range after I pressed the hit, and it lets you finish the attack move, just like any other attack. If they're in range when you start the attack, it will finish. But in the original version of Assassin's Strike, they didn't do that. So, is that her? Up here? No. So that made it really frustrating. You would start the attack, the guy would walk away, and you'd get interrupted. And you'd have to go back and follow him and start again. And if he kept moving, it might almost just be not possible, depending on how fast he was moving, to even do it. Right? You'd have to find a guy who was like walking back and forth, and then if you positioned yourself where he turned around, you would have enough time to do it. Okay. There's a medic. Is there anybody else down here? Doesn't look like it, so we'll just assassinate him. See, that wouldn't have canceled because he was moving but not going anywhere, right? And that is a dead end, so my guess is she's north. Can we go any further south? It doesn't look like it. Oh, there she is. Radiologist, patrol guard, okay. I like how he's like chest beating like he's a gorilla to threaten her. And we've saved her. Should be a clue, yep. And she says, oh, Tiger Shrike, it's awful. Security forces told me they were going to make sure no one ever came looking for me. They were going to make sure no one even knew I existed. They said they'd erase my bank accounts, my dental records, everything. My sister, too. I've never felt so helpless or scared. Yep, the Cray are bad. Now, of course, the Cray higher-ups are going to say these guys are rogue, right? But we know better than that. Don't know if Philippa knows better than that yet, but we certainly do. The police will be keeping Tracy Templeton in protective custody for now, but I'm afraid she'll have a hard time getting back to her normal life. I checked her story, and it's all true. Her birth certificate doesn't exist in any database. She has no credit history, no property lease, nothing. The same thing happened to all public records of Tracy's sister, Kimberly Kellerman. It's like someone has tried to erase them from the face of the planet. Someone, we know who, Cray. Cray again, thank you for rooting out corruption within their company. Their story is starting to sound pretty thin to me. Starting to sound thin? It's been thin all along, Philippa. She's very gullible. I remember this from the last time I played this arc. She's very gullible. All right, we're going to stop here, guys. Did I lose the map again? Yes, clear the waypoint. We've got a couple of enhancements, none of which we can use. We have some salvage, none of which is worth auctioning off. We have a whole bunch of recipes, none of which is worth auctioning off. And so we're going to ditch all of this, but I'll do that off screen. And I'll be back with another episode soon. Until then, I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes.